Yo, what's good, everybody? RJ Shelton here, episode 66 of Off the Top Show. You see, I got my brother T Lib with me. You see what shades we got going on, brother. We got the goddamn pinky pinks, or
You
whatever
feel
you
me?
want to call it.
Oh,
But
I'm
happy
caught.
Friday. Happy Friday, everybody, man. You already know what we're doing here. We're just going to hop right into it. Obviously, last night, man, we had week one kickoff. Detroit Lions versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Detroit Lions went ahead and won that 121-20. I already know right now the state of Michigan and the city of Detroit is definitely up right now. This is a great thing that happened last night, especially for the NFC North. I had them winning. Granted, it was 24-21, but I was close enough. Let's hop right into it, man. First off, let's talk about how about a great game to start off the season, huh?
Hey, tremendous game for sure.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and go to these stats here. Let's go ahead and just go right straight to the Lions. Very efficient game here on both ends for this team. I think we saw a lot of guys that needed to make plays and to go ahead and be the staple for their team this season show up 1,000%. Let's go ahead and get into it. Obviously, with Jared Goff going ahead and being 22 of 35 from the field, throwing for 253 yards and one touchdown. Very efficient. If we all know who Jared Goff is, he's definitely a guy that's not going to be himself and let the defense do what needs to be done, and he's obviously going to dissect. And then obviously the rushers with the running backs, David Montgomery running that thing north and south. Definitely going to be one of those guys that's going to continue to see it in the stat line when I'm about to read off here. 21 carries for 71 yards and a touchdown. And then we obviously saw the rookie in Gibbs, basically total all-purpose yards over 100 yards. Had seven carries for 42 yards rushing. And then obviously I'm going to go and get the receivers and caught the ball a little bit as well. And then receiving, obviously Reynolds had 4 for 80. Kind of that, what do we call it? They were, him and Goff were in the Rams like earlier in their season. So it's probably nice that Goff is seeing him back, obviously, in his vision on the field, having that connection. There was a great, like a skinny post in there that was off a play action. That was a great play call. That ball was thrown on the money. And obviously, Josh did the rest. And then I think the helm guy here, obviously, St. Brown went ahead and do what he needed to do, 6 receptions for 71 yards and 1 touchdown. He started the year off for them with a obviously little mesh play coming across the middle and scoring in their red zone. And then Laporta, we talked highly about him, 5 for 39, had a lot of key grabs on third downs. And then Gibbs, he didn't have close to 100 yards is what I thought, but he was effective as well for 2 for 18. So let's go ahead and talk about this offense here. And obviously, we're going to go ahead and dissect, obviously, both ends for both teams. But kind of talk to me here on what you saw from this offense. I thought they did very well to go ahead and start their first week.
Man, you know how the first game of the season be. I thought they came out with a game plan. I thought they came out with a good game plan. I thought the offense looked pretty good, minus a couple drops in the red zone fumble that they had. Because if they don't, I think it was Marvin Jones. If he don't fumble that ball, I think they go in and they extend the lead that they had, or they tied up at that point in the time in the game. The offense looked good. I think it's gonna continue to get like deeper. Like I was telling you before we got on here, and like I think it was a few episodes ago, I wanted to see a key factor in this game was David Montgomery.
Right.
Because the Lions got one of the top offenses in the league. Like across the board, they was top 10 at their positions. They got one of the best offensive tackles in the game, one of the best guards, best centers. You feel me? Another great tackle on the other side. This team is poised to like play some tough, hard-nosed, physical football. And it's going to start with your run game. You know, if we know Jared Goff, how he went to the finals, he had a running game. He had Todd Gurley back there. You know, he had weapons across the field. So I love the dynamics that they had in the offense. Josh Reynolds, 4 for 80. St. Brown, 6 for 71. He's the best security blanket. He hard to tackle. You could every time he get up, you feel like he is the toughness of that team. Like you can tell he's tough. He can catch the ball. He's a playmaker as well. Sam Laporta, they need to look into getting him. You know, don't let him find his rhythm, because I think he's one of those guys that's just like St. Brown. Like he's a threat at that tight end position, and that's just going to continue to open the offense. Don't let him get rolling, which I think he will. So that offense is going to become deeper. Dave Montgomery had 21 carries, 74 yards, touchdown at the end of the game. And that drive, they were just handing off the ball to him, handing off the ball to him. He's gonna wear down defenses. He's that type of running back. And then Gibbs can come in there, catch the ball out the backfield. He had some runs yesterday that was pretty good too. Some outside runs. I think it was like a 1st and 20 or something. I think he picked up like 20 yards on the outside run. It's like the dynamics that them two running backs gonna have. They gonna be like 1-2 punching you. Like if y'all familiar with the Saints a few years ago with Drew Brees and when they had Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. I
Right.
think that type of backfield, they're gonna have that type of backfield where David Montgomery is gonna be the hammer and the lightning is gonna be Jamar Gibbs. But Jamar Gibbs can actually run the ball inside the tackles as well, outside, catch the ball out the backfield. He's just another weapon that you can use. So I love what the Lions did. I love how they opened up. I love how hard they played. You couldn't tell it was the game one. You know, feel me? It wasn't a lot of penalties. It wasn't a lot of holdings, false starts. It wasn't a lot of these pre-snap things that you usually expect in week one of the regular season with guys playing their first full game. Because preseason, I don't think Jared Goff played a snap in the entire preseason. So I'm excited what I said, man. Detroit, man. Like, I thought the Chiefs would win, but I also knew that the Lions could win. Like, this wasn't going to be like a game where, oh, Lions just not going to win. I actually picked the Lions, go to the playoffs, and they can be a potential Super Bowl team. Like,
Yeah.
it depends on how they, continue to define themselves week to week to week to week to week. So I'm excited about what the Lions did, man. I'm tuned in.
No, absolutely. I'm gonna have to get active like you. You know what I'm saying? Have
Oh,
shades on. I
okay.
think it's just only right. It is Friday, so I'm not gonna go ahead and not join the wave. But no, to carry on what you said, brother, man. I knew that Gibbs was gonna be special. I think it was like his second run or whatever. Obviously, it was to like a stretch to the left side, but made a move and then went ahead and absolutely laid a punish. I think it was on their safety. I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely locked in. He's definitely going to be a player. So this offense, man, like I said, the NFC North is wide open. It's a race to first place. And this team right here, what the Lions did yesterday, they're definitely a team that you need to consider because they were for real. Going into Kansas City, loud as hell, Super Bowl, everyone getting their rings, banners dropping, you come down there and get a win. That's a great way to start your season. And, if I'm the offense for the Lions, I should be happy. Obviously, we don't want to turn the ball over. We obviously want to go ahead and get through third downs, but you won yourself a ball game. So that's a good win. But let's go over and talk about this defense. I'm looking at stats right now. There are 3 guys that are all in the secondary that had over 5 tackles. Gardner Johnson obviously came from the Philadelphia Eagles. Mary Jacobs, secondary as well. And Alex Alzone, might be saying it wrong. Alzone? No, excuse me. Alzalone. Might be saying it wrong. Anyways, you know who I'm talking about. And then obviously the interception by the rookie, obviously Brian Branch, who's been ran and raved a lot in camp coming out of Alabama. Those guys are the vocal point, right? I think of this defense. There was when you were hearing about these obviously other announcers talking about this team, they were talking about how they wanted to get this secondary down pat. And they showed it last night. We all know in the high-powered offense of Patrick Mahomes and what they got going on there, they really had that shit on lock, if you want my honest opinion. They really had – when they needed to make plays, obviously on third downs and things like that, they were really taking it away from the Kansas City Chiefs from an offensive standpoint. But
Another
I
thing,
think,
real
yeah,
quick,
yep,
they linebacker play.
yes.
They linebacker play was great. Like Jack Coleman knocked a couple balls down, getting his depth, turning his hips all the way, flipping around, knocking down passes, getting in lanes. Like they linebacker play was pretty well this year too. But carry on.
No, absolutely. And then basically just to talk about this to end this here, especially with the defense here, obviously Aiden Hutchinson basically putting his fingerprints all over this game. We are starting to see that if you have one D lineman, especially that edge rusher position that can go ahead and create havoc, I feel he was just a nonstop motor the whole game. He was in the backfield probably damn near every time on third down. Man was even dropping as a linebacker, running to the ball. This guy right here is definitely going to be the next guy that's going to get paid for the Detroit Lions. And he's definitely the vocal point of that team as well. I think this team from a defensive end, and we said this in the beginning of this episode, this is a for real team on both ends of the ball. So if they come out, run the football, play good defense, they're going to be tough to beat. Kind of talk to me about this defense and what you saw from them from yesterday.
I seen them flying around, man. I see them playing with a spirit. You feel me? I keep throwing it out there, playing with spirit, because you can just tell when some teams just going through the motion. They want to go home. They don't really want to be there. They don't really give a fuck. But
Right.
they play with a spirit. They got guys that talking. You feel me? They got guys that's energy guys, the Gardner Johnson, and then they got a guy in Brian Branch that's a rookie, but I'm sure he don't carry himself around like a rookie, bro. Like he
Right.
don't. You know, he from Alabama. He think he can play with anybody. We done seen him. We seen the off season. I mean, the plays he made in training camp against other teams and against his own
Right.
team. We
Right.
see what guy he is. He's a glue guy that can probably play safety, can play nickel, the star position. I'm positive he can probably go out there and guard some wide receivers on the outside. Then you got
Probably.
they missing the corner as well. Mosley from San Francisco. They signed him. I think he's out for like the first 4 games, and he's a nice corner that's gonna be there. But one thing we talked about, I think it was early this week, and I talked about the D line. I'm like, man, they got Hutchinson, but who else on the D line? The Chiefs rushed for, and this is outside of Patrick Mahomes scrambling, because scramble is a scramble. The
Right.
Chiefs rushed for 45 yards on 14
Not going to win you a ball game.
between the running backs. All the little receiver things that they did, they didn't get no yards. They was not able to run the ball. Like, and Hutchinson is a guy you can't run the ball at, and like you said, he was disruptive. I wanted to see what type of level he was gonna go from year one to year two. Hey, bro, he looked nice. Like, he looked very disruptive out there on pass plays. Like, Patrick Mahomes was doing a lot of scrambling around because of him.
Right.
You feel me? Even with the offensive tackle from the Chiefs, like sort of jumping off sides every time on false
He was
start.
offsides. I don't know why that was not being called. That has never, ever been a thing in the NFL or football, period. The man is moving the whole entire time. Throw the flag.
They just wasn't calling it, but he was still working.
Right.
Still working. Like, hey, Hutchinson, he was dominant though. And a couple more of the guys got some calls, forced some holding calls. Like I told you about 79. I said if we hear his name, it's not a good thing. He got a holding at the end of the game.
Right.
But the D line, they was stout. They made it a passing game. And the defense came to play. They gave up 20 points, 14 points on touchdown, and they scored a touchdown.
Right.
So you feel me? Like, who don't want to play like that? This is Detroit football right here. And I feel like it's only going to continue to go at this pace just like this. So I'm excited from what I've seen from the Lions on both sides of the ball. I think they should win the division for sure. If they come out and continue to establish their dominance, they come out and continue to find ways to get their playmakers the ball easily, continue to get their running game going. If they're a top 10 running team, I think if they're a top 10 running team, they make the playoffs for sure. If they're a top 10 running team, they can make it to the Super Bowl because they have the weapons, they have the guys. They have the guys. Let's just say they get a Chris Jones. Let's just say they trade for him. You feel me? And they trade a first round pick or a second round pick and get Chris Jones and pay him the 3 for 84. Now you got Chris Jones and Aiden Hudson on the line for your next 3 years with the guys you already got signed, with a rookie running back, with a still rookie receiver that ain't even got back yet. He'll be back in 6 weeks. That's straight speed. Watch out, brother. I don't see the Lions tanking off for the next 5-10 years. I see them going up, man. We going up, man. Detroit, man. We going up. Stop playing, man.
Yeah, no, I mean they are built now after watching this game because you can tell what a team is going to be like for the first game. I don't care what anyone says. You don't need to have 5 games played. You don't need to have 3 games played. That game right there showed me that they're trying to go ahead and be a playoff team every year, and I think they're definitely going to be in the hunt for that. So shout out to the Lions, man. Like I said, throughout this whole time when this season was coming, the NFC North is going to be locked and loaded, and it's be a first place race for all teams. Hey, Lions are not bullshitting. I love it.
Great, great season opener, bro. Who would
Absolutely.
have thought the Lions was gonna win the season opener versus the Chiefs? Come on, man.
Nobody.
This might be the Super Bowl rematch. We might
Hey,
have seen it this season and the end of the season. Let's see.
man, let's just go ahead and see, man. But I think anything's possible. Like I said, all these teams in the NFC North where we go ahead and that's kind of our backbone of who we talk about first, then go in. All those teams, you have no idea what can happen in this league, number one, especially in that division, or what those teams are going to turn out to be. So it's going down. But let's just go ahead and briefly wrap up, obviously, this game for the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and his team obviously came up short. A lot of drop balls by a lot of guys that were in the wide receiving core. Obviously, you already mentioned that they only had 45 yards rushing, which is god awful.
Between the running backs.
Running backs. Yep. And then passing, obviously, multiple players dropping balls here, right? But stat wise, I mean, we don't need to go through it. I think we both know Kansas City Chiefs have been in this situation before. Obviously, if guys made plays, it probably still would have been a game. Maybe they would have won. Maybe they wouldn't have won. But at the end of the day, we know what the Kansas City Chiefs bring. We know what they are about. I'm not worried, but if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, you need to make sure that man Kelsey gets back soon as possible because it was shown that man needs to be on the field for a safety net due to his hands, due to what he can do, over the middle and what he can do route running and his presence on the field. So I'm not worried, but this was a bad loss at home. There's no reason for you to lose at home opener at all. So kind of talk to me about that.
I mean, it's very rare. Like Patrick Mahomes don't lose at home. I think this is his first opening season loss of his career. I think he was 5-0 before today. Before yesterday.
Right.
He don't really lose at home. Like he don't lose a lot of games at home at all. I mean, but you missing two of your best players. I mean, they had 3 players in the top 10 this year. You feel me? And 2 of
Right.
those on the field as well. You missing Chris Jones. I'm sure he could have been disruptive on that D line. He could have done some things and created some matchups and gave some pressure off the guys around them. The same as Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is a guy that you're gonna have more attention on him than you have on Tony and you have on. You feel me? Maybe them linebackers not able to get that depth like they get with Travis Kelce on the field because you have to know where he's at. Maybe you're not paying that much attention to Sky Moore and Valdez Scanley and Noah Gray and Rasheed Rice.
Right.
Maybe you're not paying that much attention to them with Travis Kelce on the field, and they're more open and able to catch non-contested footballs. The Chiefs. I mean, you can say it's a bad loss, but it's the Chiefs. It's a loss. I'm sure they don't want to lose. I'm sure they'll bounce back from it. Let's see if they get Chris Jones back in the building. Let's see if they pay him. I've seen something that say he was asking for 3 for 84. I think that's doable. It ain't 4 for 180. You feel me? Like it ain't 5 for 170. I think 3 for 84 is decent enough, all guaranteed. I think that's a decent contract they can give him. But who knows? Let's see if they want to give it to him. They need those 2 guys. They need those 2 guys for sure. Patrick Mahomes just was out there kind of like doing it on his own. You had wide receivers dropping the ball. And you can't do nothing about that. Like I said, I tweeted like, man, sometimes some drops are worse than fumbles.
Right.
Like sometimes a fumble is like, damn, I just messed that up. You feel me? I just fumble, my bad, But some drops is like, bro, you dropped it twice. Oh, and then you dropped the pass that went right through your hands and got tipped and went and turned into a touchdown for the other team. And then at the end of the game, where we on our 2-minute drill to go back and get in field goal range, you drop a wide open 25-yard bomb open over route, and you drop that when you could have caught that and probably got 10 to 12 more yards. We see how you do when you catch the ball. It's like, damn, Tony. Like, I'm not mad at what they did. The wide receivers should look at themselves, though. They got to know, bro. We got to catch the ball.
Right.
but it's gonna be good to get Travis Kelce back out there so it can take attention off of those guys. I want to see Justin Ross play more. I didn't see him in the game like that. I know you had to give these other guys a shot. I want to see Jared McKinney in the game more, touching the ball more. It'll get better as the season go on. I'm not mad at the Chiefs. I'm not gonna say their season is over and they will never recover from it. I think they'll recover from it. This is a great Lions win, but it's not a terrible loss for the Chiefs. It's just a loss.
Absolutely. We'll conclude obviously that with what you're saying there, but it was a great win by the Lions, like you said. And let's go ahead and move on here, right? Obviously, week one's upon us. Some key games here. Me and Lip already have talked about it before, but we're definitely going to go ahead. Give me actually, I'll go first. And then obviously I think we might have the same on key highlights for this week for the NFL, week one.
Go game to game.
Yep, game to game here. For me, obviously, I got a couple here. Bengals versus Browns at noon is definitely a key game here. Joe Shiesty coming off, obviously getting paid. Team loaded on both ends. Likewise with the Browns. Deshaun Watson obviously coming out and starting week one. Whole bunch of weapons around him. Great defense. That's one game for sure that's going to be live. And then to add on to that as well, 49ers versus Steelers. They play at noon as well. Purdy versus Pickett's. It's going to be a great one. You already know what the 49ers bring defensively, and obviously with the Steelers and both those guys offensively. And I think this is two more. Well, there's a lot of them on here, but there's going to be four more actually. Got the Rams versus the Seahawks, Packers versus Bears, and then prime time, Cowboys versus Giants, then a Monday night Bills versus Jets. I don't know if that's kind of on your list, but if you have any sleeper ones or ones that you think that are going to be a key game, go ahead and let the people know, brother man, and then we can dissect any of these games or what you're thinking or what you're feeling for that time.
All right, some great opening week games. This is like a sleeper opening week game. It's gonna be eyes on this game because you're gonna see how these guys play. I think the Jaguars and the Colts. The Jaguars going to the Colts. I think that's gonna be a game people have their eyes on because they want to see how Trevor Lawrence and Ridley play with that offense.
Right.
With and Christian Kirk, they're gonna want to see how that offense look. ETN, they're gonna want to see how they took a step up. And then you got Richardson. Like everybody want to see how he looks. You feel me? Like everybody want, and he has, Jalen Hurts, previous offensive coordinator, as his coordinator, and we see what that coordinator did to Jalen Hurts. So I great hands, and we want to see how he plays. We want to see how he performs. That's gonna be that should be a thing for the next years. That Colts and Jaguars thing, that should be a thing. Let's move on from that. I think another game that we should keep our eyes on is Houston versus Baltimore. Let's see. Last time we seen Lamar Jackson was, probably like week 10 of the season last year. You feel me? He had got hurt and missed like the final 6 weeks of the season. The last time we saw Odell Beckham was in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, in the 2022 in the Super Bowl. We haven't seen Zay Flowers yet. We haven't seen Dobbins, the running back. This is like offense. So it's excited to see what that offense looked like. And then you got DeMeco Ryans as the head coach of the Houston. They got a whole bunch of new things going on down there. Let's see what type of Houston team that we're going to see. Let's see what C.J. Stroud look like. It's going to be tough going into – it's going to be tough. I think they're going to lose by 10+. But let's see the effort. Let's see the focus. Let's see the awareness. Let's see all that. Moving on from that. This is a sleeper game. Philly at New England. I mean, Tom Brady is getting honored there for the first game, so the emotions and the intensity is gonna be high. You feel me? The Eagles is coming off of, we trying to go right back to the Super Bowl. You feel me? Jalen Hurts, let's see his second year after the year he had. He was almost this close to winning MVP last year. Let's see, is he still that same player? Let's see if this offense still the same while they're missing their two coordinators. Let's see what Mac Jones got. Let's see Zeke and Stevenson in the backfield. Let's see they got a new coordinator, Bill O'Brien. Let's see if he's able to fix Mac Jones and turn Mac Jones into a fucking decent quarterback, bro. Like,
Right.
let's see what's going on.
Help the brother out.
And this is probably my last one. I'm gonna go Miami at Los Angeles. The Chargers. Two quarterbacks that went back to back 5 and 6, and some
Yep.
team and all. Herbert should have got drafted before Tua. Oh, Herbert already got paid his bag. Why Tua ain't got paid yet? Miami, people picking Miami to go to the Super Bowl as well. You feel me? They got guys on their defense. They got guys on their offense. The LA, they got weapons on the outside like a mud. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, the rookie they drafted from TCU, Eckler in the backfield, Palmer on the outside. I like him at wide receiver.
Palmer's nice.
Yeah, you got Bosa, you got Derwin James, you got Khalil Mack, you got Asante Samuel Jr. So, what Chargers team are we going to get this year? What Miami team are we going to get this year? That's going to be a good game right there. They got to travel all the way across the world and go over there and play in Los Angeles. Let's see how this turns out, man. That's going to be a good game. Let's see what tool we have. Let's see if the jiu-jitsu, he was learning how to fall the proper way. Let's see if that works now. You feel me? Let's see if he can protect himself. Let's see how he is commanding the game and managing the game. Let's see what type of quarterback he is now. Let's see if he can protect himself. Let's see if that his O-line can protect him, because their O-line not that good. And they don't even know if Terran Armstead is going to play for sure. So there's some questions going into this week, but after Sunday, you're gonna have some answers.
No, absolutely. And to piggyback kind of off what you said with the sleeper, I got the one of my sleeper games that I have looking right in front of me here. I got the Titans versus the Saints. I think this is a big game for the Tennessee Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with the addition of D-Hop being there. But what are we going to get? We know the defense is always going to play tough due to their head coach, because him being a defensive-minded guy. Offense, obviously, is Tannehill going to go ahead and play efficient? Obviously, it's very easy for him for just handing the ball off to Henry, and they have depth at the running back, obviously, with getting the rookie.
Spears.
Yep.
Tajay Spears.
I think he's going to get a lot of touches as well to go ahead and get Henry some time off a little bit when he's not, in that mode. And then let's go over to the Saints, right? Derek Carr, new guy in town. Looked like when he was in the preseason, I think a couple of drives when he did start, touchdowns, weapons around him galore as well. Good running back, good cast on the defensive end. I think this will be a good game. So there's a lot of great games week one coming in Sunday for the NFL. So we're definitely going to go ahead and have our picks here. I'll definitely have them posted before, obviously, Sunday. And, hey, week one is here. Hopefully we have a lot of great games ahead of us, which I think we will. I'm definitely going to take a look in the Red Zone and go ahead and purchase that so I can watch all Red Zone plays on Sunday.
That's it. That's the only channel I need. I don't need to watch. Give me the Red.
Probably be at the Vikings game, but I'm going to have it on my phone for sure, making sure I'm tapped in. But, yeah, that is week one that's going to be the start of week one, but that's kind of what we're thinking for week one from the NFL standpoint. And we're going to get some great games and a lot of good competition, a lot of good one-on-one battles on both ends, offense and defensively. So, and coaches as well. Let's see what coaches get out coach. I like seeing that too. So, and then moving on, obviously we're going to stay in the football realm here, talking about college football. Definitely going to go ahead and have our picks as well with that. Going to be short and sweet here, but obviously talk about the key games. I think we all know what game that is going to be probably the most livest, if you want my honest opinion, that Texas versus Alabama game. College Game Day, I think, is there for ESPN. That is at 6 p.m. That's definitely one of those games that, two historic programs, Alabama obviously being Alabama, Texas being Texas. If you want my honest opinion with that, I want to give you a pick there. I'm going to go ahead. This is at Alabama.
Yep.
I'm taking Alabama at home. I ain't going to go ahead and disrespect Alabama like that. I'm going to take Alabama, but that's a key game there. Then obviously we're going to continue to talk about Dion here. They got Fox College Game Day there. It's about to be rocking in Colorado. They're facing Nebraska. realistically see this game being a complete blowout. This is a homecoming parade for the Colorado Buffaloes. Yes, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid for all the people that listen to this because what they did against TCU, they're not bullshit. You might see Deion Sanders halftime playing his own music through the PA system after they're absolutely killing Nebraska. But I got obviously Colorado, but that's one of those games as well that I think is going to be a top one. And then really all the other ones, kind of just more like a tune-up. But
Look at this. Hold up. I just seen something funny.
what did you just see?
The the ticket price to the Colorado Nebraska game, the lowest ticket is $309.
Oh my god!
The lowest ticket, which is the second lowest
Uh
for the
huh.
next, is Alabama Texas, and the lowest ticket in that game is $133.
You
So the
think the
lowest ticket in a Colorado game is $309, and the lowest ticket to get in the Alabama game versus Texas is $133. What that's telling you right there.
what is that telling you, America? That is telling you that Prime is must time TV.
There's no other price on here that I'm seeing that's over like $50, like of all the games.
That's crazy.
There's only like one. There's two games that's in the hundreds, and that's Alabama and the other game. The rest of them is I'm seeing 16, $6, $10, $30, $6, $27, $47, $9, $11, $30, $5, $43, like $26. Wow.
No, that's crazy. But I think realistically, obviously, got Michigan State playing Richmond. Should be able to go ahead and take care of that. But I think probably the biggest highlight here is obviously going to be Texas, Alabama, and then Colorado, Nebraska, because that thing is pubbed up the way it is. But yeah, kind of talk to me on that, or what are you expecting to see, or what teams, or I mean, I'm seeing Mississippi State versus Tulane here. That might be a good one as well. 20 versus 24. Uh, Grant, you know how these games go. We've both been in it. You got
Yeah.
3 games to play. Really, some teams that get tuned up for conference, but obviously you get those ones where you play 2 very good programs. So if you see anyone there, kind of talk to me on that, brother, man.
Well, Michigan State, bring that shit, man. Let's go. I want to see the
Yeah,
same, not more. Like in the first half, last game, y'all start off slow, but the second half, y'all look great. I need to see that second half and the first half this game, and then continue to build on that. Let's be that team that we were in the second half. Bring that defense from the first half that y'all had as well too. Bring that for the rest of the season. Like that's what I want to see from them. I think it should be a blowout, and they should be getting ready for Washington. Go in there, don't look over Richmond. Take care of business, because that's what you do. You gotta take care of business and handle that. So I'm expecting the Michigan State win for sure. Another game that's a question that people don't want to watch is Oregon at Texas Tech. It's hard to play at Texas Tech, and we know how these Texas Tech teams can be. Man, the Red Raiders, it's hard to play there. They can pass the ball. I don't know if this is their first home game or whatever. Let's see. If this is their first home game of the season.
I think
Yep,
so.
first home game of the season. They just lost to Wyoming. So they going to be amped up. They going to be hyped up, ready to play. So that can be a trap game. It's at 7 o'clock at night. That can be a trap game. We just going to have to see how that turn out. Let's see what LSU team we get. They play Grambling, but let's see what team we get. You know, they kind of got manhandled last week. Got
Right.
their ass. I'm sure they don't like that taste in their mouth. So they gonna want to say something about that. They're gonna want to show up and make something happen. I see that you said Tulane versus Ole Miss. That's 20 versus 24 at Tulane. Hey, I don't know, but we gonna see. Like I would like to see Tulane win. I would
Right.
like. I like seeing the underdogs kind of win. I'm sure Ole Miss is favored because they're Ole Miss. So I would like to see that win. But it's some games to check out this week, man. It's definitely some games to tune into. It's probably going to be a lot of blowouts because I see a lot of ranked teams not playing other ranked teams, but them are the games, them are trap games that you don't want to, give up that quick because it's early in the season. Everybody's still healthy. They feeling good. if they lost week 1, they ain't that down in the trash where they don't think they can win. They ain't 0-5. They just 0-1. So everybody still believe, like everybody, expectations and their goals are still in front of them.
Right.
Everybody's still having in front of them. So I'm just excited to see some good football. I just seen this one. Iowa at Iowa State.
That's always a good rivalry. You know that one, baby. That one's always teed.
Yeah, so it's gonna be some good football playing, some good football playing this weekend on Saturdays and Sunday. But I'm tuned in.
You already know.
I'm tuned in to Colorado, not Nebraska. I mean Nebraska at Colorado, and then I'm tuned in to Michigan State playing Richmond after that. Then I'm probably gonna be tuned in to Alabama, Texas. I want to see Texas win. I don't want to see Alabama win no more. I'm tired of their ass. I
Tired
don't
of
want
it, brother.
to see the players do their thing, but let's turn it over, man. Let's actually see this Texas quarterback that they keep talking so highly of. They talk so highly of this dude. And when I see him play, he be doing some BS. So let's see if he can put it together and
Right.
put together a game and win. Because
Right.
they Texas last year and they lost that game. And Texas lost at home to Alabama. So now it's y'all turn to return the favor and go into their arena and win. Let's see what type of team Texas is.
And I think it's time for Texas, man. This is all this. I think they've been getting pub as well, getting recruits, this, that, and the third. Will make it happen. I'm sick and tired of hearing we got this, that, and the third. Well, then show me that you go ahead and go into Alabama and get
They
yourself.
like the damn Cowboys, bro. Every
Yeah.
year, end of the year, they talking about they Super Bowl favorites. Like, bro, come on, bro. Can they win a bowl game first? Can they actually get to the playoffs? Damn. We have more Big Ten teams going to the playoffs than them. They ain't never been there.
Literally.
Like, come on, bro. Show us
Literally.
what
This must be something down in that barbecue down in Texas or whatever they known for down there. They be sipping some type of crazy Kool-Aid down there, boy. But
you
yeah, no, definitely great games are going to be on Saturday and Sunday. We're going to have our picks in by the end of tonight and be locked in. Great football is going to be on, all that good stuff. Yeah. Then let's go ahead and talk about this USA loss, man. This was terrible. If you watched the game at all this morning, USA lost to Germany 111-113. Anthony Edwards and Austin Reeves had over 20 points, leading basically the USA team in that category. Bridges had 17, Brunson had 15, Hartz had 9, Jackson had 8. For Germany, they had multiple guys. They had 3 guys over double digits, over 20. Schroeder playing lights out. Looking at his stat line right now, 17 points, 9 assists. That's what you need from a PG. Wagner from the Orlando, who's nice. He's definitely going to be a dude that's going to make a lot of noise, I feel, for his team this coming year when the NBA season starts at 22. And then obviously Thies. I've known Daniel Thies. I think he was just a German dude in there balling. No clue who he is, but he was in there getting buckets, had 21. And then
Celtics a couple years? Years ago. Yeah, he was hurt last year, but he was on the Celtics a couple years ago. He was on the Celtics, the Pacers.
Oh, yeah. Their power forward guy. Absolutely know who it was. He was efficient. He played straight. He was doing his things on both ends for this game. But just to obviously talk about this, man, this USA team, it was tough down the stretch. It was tough down the stretch. Third quarter was all in the shambles. They had an opportunity to go ahead and cut it. Literally, we talked about this earlier, obviously, but just Anthony Edwards, airhead play, leaving his feet. And there's obviously a lot of other plays that could take back for individuals on the USA team. But this was a bad loss. I felt there was no way that we should have lost against Germany. Kind of give me your thoughts on that, on this play throughout, obviously, this USA FIBA little World Cup run here.
I didn't think we was gonna win, bro.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, I just didn't think we was gonna win. I was like, bro, we're not gonna win this thing. Like these other teams just play harder. They play more fundamental. They play with more purpose. They play winning basketball. I'm not saying USA guys don't, but the USA guys is just a bunch of individuals trying to put it together. And I tweeted this earlier. They don't have an adult on the team.
Right.
They don't have an adult on the team. They don't have nobody that can bring them together and be like, okay, this is how it's done. You feel me? They don't have that.
Right.
They have Ant Edwards, that's the best player on the team, but he's also a young guy. He's 22. So there's things about the game that he still don't know. Like he still reverts back to his old his old young ways of playing. We
Right.
see it at how he play. Like he has the skill set to be able to do anything. He can do it all. But it comes with experience to be able to know when and how to do it. Like you
Right.
said, you can't come off a pick and roll and jump past the ball back to Jerron Jackson. Like you can't do that. And that comes with knowing each other. Like
Right.
you gotta know that ain't him, bro. He probably gonna roll to the basket. How many times have we seen him pick and pop? We don't see Jerron Jackson pick and pop like that. He's
Right.
a pick and roll guy. When he's shooting his threes, it's usually from him trailing the offense down on a fast break or something, and somebody penetrate the paint and they just kick it back and he shoot it like that. He ain't no pick and pop guy like that. I mean Reeves balling. Reeves always, he's plays. Reeves
You
plays.
you can rely on Reeves to go ahead and have him have an efficient game, especially in this World Cup run,
Yeah,
because he
like
was playing very efficient.
why Cam Johnson wasn't playing? Because he's like a one-trick guy. He can shoot the three ball, but what else can he do? Can he play on defense? Can he put the ball on the ground? You know who can do that? Them other guys in the other countries. They not flash and flare, and they don't think about, I'm going to play above the rim all the time. A lot of them guys don't play above the rim. They play fundamental, let's score basketball. Let's win. Let's pick and roll. Let's get people the ball. Let's down screen, set screens, box out. It's very fundamental. And then you bring a bunch of guys from the NBA that they're usually guys with the ball in their hands. So they don't do all that other shit well. You
Right.
feel me? They don't do all the boxing out, the hedging, the rebounding, the talking on defense. They don't do that shit.
No.
And Edwards don't do that on defense when he playing for the Timberwolves. Hart don't do it. Bridges don't do it. Even Bridges was a dope defensive guy, but he didn't do it. Portis, Halliburton, Panchero, Ingram didn't even play today. Like they don't have that. They don't have that. And the other teams have that. They know how to win games. They play to win. The USA, they kind of just out there winging it. You know, when they was blowing teams out, they was winning. But in them tight, close games, they wasn't winning. And they lost two tight, close games.
No,
So
absolutely.
we're just gonna have to see what they do next year.
There's a third place medal game against Canada. That should be interesting to
And they
watch.
might lose that one because Canada can play.
No, absolutely. And I think with this young team, I think what we're seeing and what they're running into individually, right? This is great that they're playing at this stage because now situations of what they did in that World Cup or in the time that they played together, now they can go ahead and see what they need to do in certain situations. Obviously, I'm going to stick with this Anthony Edwards situation. Um, he had an opportunity to go. I mean, he literally, I think, came across, got a screen, crossed over 1-2 and tried yamming on somebody, but like floating left and doing it. Once he realizes that he's so athletic that he can go straight downhill 1-2, he should have punched that on the right hand side on Buddy. But that's knowing, like we said, he's young, right? Still learning what angles are people coming at. Like if a guy is coming, if he's underneath the basket and he's flying to the right side of the basket coming from the left, why would you meet him over on that side? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I'm a guru basketball guy, but angles, especially with playing football and knowing which ways guys are going, makes sense to where you can go ahead and give yourself an opportunity to basically either score or win that down possession, whatever. Basically, what I'm saying is not just Anthony Edwards, but I think everyone individually got to see what they needed to do to add in their bag going into this season.
Yeah.
I'm really hard on Anthony Edwards because once he figures it out, bro, there's no one that's going to guard him in the NBA. Once he figures out angles, figures out how to talk, figures out what he needs to do, and knows his strengths and what he can do. Because if Bron was in that situation, he would have did what I just said. He would have went ahead, came off the screen, crossed over, beat Cuz, and would have went on the right hand and would have yammed on Buddy for an and one. But again, that just comes with time, like you said. So this third place game should be interesting. Obviously, I want our USA team to win. But they may go ahead and get a rude awakening. But it
You
was a
think
tough loss today.
you think any of these guys gonna make the A team next year?
I would say maybe 3 of them,
Name them.
or maybe 2.
Name them.
Austin Reeves for sure. He's going to be on there.
Fuck no.
Well,
Are
probably
you?
none of them, to be honest.
Are
If it's
you-
if it's going to be well, here's the thing though. So I was going to ask you this question because I think this is a good to bring up. Would you think if Trae Young was on the team, granted how they were playing, do you think that he would have helped, or do you think it would have been worse? Is Donovan Mitchell in that kind of category too of where he could have played, or is he more like the superstar, like A team, like you know what I'm saying, with like say playing with Bron and KD and Devin Book, like, or do you think, or maybe both of them? What if these two guys were on this team? What do you think this team would be? Do you think we would have came out with a W?
I think if they had those two guys, yeah, they would have been in a better position because I mean those are just two scoring type of guys that can actually, get people involved in the game too. But that's just two scoring guys. They
True.
ain't doing it on defense. Like even when LeBron and them was playing back in the day with Kobe and KD and Dwayne Wade, like they all couldn't just score. And Melo, like they all had to do different things. Like Melo was the leading scorer on those teams, but Kobe and Brian and D Wade, they had to play on both sides of the ball. They had to block shots, rebound. They had to talk on defense, communicate. You had to add to your game. You feel me?
Right.
Like these times you really compete and add to your game. You can't if you didn't get better at this, if you didn't get better in this, like playing with some of the best guys in the league, then you just need to get the fuck on. But I don't I know I wouldn't say Trae Young is in that A team. I don't think he's in there because you got Dame. I don't know if Kyrie gonna go, but you got Ja,
Right.
you got Dame, you got Steph. So the guard play gonna be you got Devin Booker. You get the guard.
I'm saying with Trae Young being on this team that just lost. I'm talking about this team. Do you think
No, I don't. No, both of them. Like I said, both of them.
Yeah.
Or I think they still lose. But both of them, they have a better chance. But now I'm talking about the A team.
Oh, okay. Yep.
What?
Go ahead.
Because you were saying like if Donovan Mitchell was like on closer to the A team, and
Right.
I don't know. I don't think he closer to that team because what he does best, score. They gonna have scores. You feel me? They gonna have Kevin Durant. You feel me? They gonna have Steph. You feel me? They gonna have Jason Tatum. You feel me? They gonna have maybe a Jaylen Brown. They gonna have those guys. So where do you fit in at?
Right.
Where do you fit at? So I see one guy that can be potentially on the next year's team, and he will not start, and he probably won't play like that, and that's Ant. None of these other guys are gonna be on the A team that goes and plays in the Olympics next year. None of them.
That's tough.
Nothing them though. They NBA players and they great. I'm not jumping at them and saying they not what they are because most of these guys on these teams are paid or they about to get paid,
Right.
and maybe they're the future. Maybe they're 4, 5, 6 years. The Olympics. What is it? 2020. What is it? 2024 next year.
Yeah.
They 2028. Maybe in 2032 they gonna be they gonna be the ones. They didn't play 10 more years of some quality experience basketball. But right now, it's still KD and D Book
Facts.
and guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, they play Sunday. I think it's going to be in the morning, to be honest, or it might be midday. Either way, they're playing Canada for the third place. And man, Friday's here. Hope you guys had a great weekend. work week. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Obviously, we're bringing nothing but content. Thank you for rocking with us. This is episode 66. Go ahead.
Quick picks. Who you got for MVP this year for NFL?
Do I need it? How many you want? 5? What is it? Normally 5 that get in like a
Hell no. MVP? I want one or two options.
1 or 2 options. I think after what I saw last night with Patrick Mahomes and his situation, granted, I know that everything's going to be good, but I think times are going to go ahead and change into where Joe Shiesty's going to get a little bit more above Patrick Mahomes. I got either Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson winning MVP this year. Those are my
Oh,
two guys.
Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson.
Yep, Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson.
Okay, those are some great picks now.
Because number one, we already know what we're getting out of Lamar Jackson. He's already won an MVP for sure. I mean, before. Joe Burrow, obviously, coming off deal doesn't matter. He's a dog, and I think he's going to earn his respect this year. And I'll put another one in there. I'll give you 3. And don't be surprised if Justin Herbert, if you're saying if we get a Chargers team that we're supposed to get, he might be in the mix too.
Okay.
Because I think MVP, granted, I would love to see like a JJ get it or a wide receiver get it. That'd be dope if it happened. Don't get me wrong. That'd be incredible if that happened. If a wide receiver got it, preferably would probably be JJ if anybody. But I will go ahead for my 3. I'll go ahead and say, obviously, what I said earlier. My goodness, completely blanking on his name.
Yeah,
Joe Burrow,
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson, Justin.
Yeah. Okay. I like
Who you got? Are you still taking Patrick Mahomes after yesterday's performance?
I'm gonna put. I want to put him there, but I don't know. I'm gonna put Jalen Hurts number 1.
That's real.
That's my number 1 spot. Because I think he's gonna have to do more this year, and I think their team got better. I mean, they got Swift in the backfield. They got Rashad Penny in the backfield, so they reloaded back there. They still got their Boston Scott guys. And number 14, I think, is Gainwell.
Uh-huh.
They got in for most of the season, so I think he's gonna still put up numbers and do some more things as far as throwing the ball. So I got Jalen Hurts at 1. I got Pete Mahomes at 2. Damn, this last one is kind of tough. It's kind of tough. Now, who I want to win is the 3rd one. I would say Lamar Jackson.
Right. I was about to say, you got to throw Lamar in there because you've been said that previously.
Yeah, but I'm gonna put Joe Burrow in there because if the Cincinnati is the better, like one of the best teams in the AFC this year, he's gonna win. He didn't get paid. That's what they want. That's what they want. You feel me?
Right.
They want that to be it. And if he throw for 40 touchdowns and less than 10 picks, and that team is 14-3 or 13-4, winning the division, and they number 1 seed, I can see him being there. So I got Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow.
Hey, that might happen. You never know. But, man, weekend's here, y'all. Friday is here. Hopefully you guys had a great week, like I said earlier before we got into these hot picks real quick, which are always fun to talk about. You guys have a great weekend. Lip, take them out good, brother.
Hey, man, drink your water. Tune into some great football this week, man. Prime time, pull it up, man. Michigan State Spartans about to go ahead and ball out. The other school down the street, I hope they get blew out by 100 points. Football is here, baby. We here all the way to what, mid-February? It ain't another Sunday and Saturday. It's on and popping, man. So tune in. Y'all enjoy yourself, man. Hydrate yourself.
Absolutely. Man, you already know. Appreciate y'all. Keep tuning in. Love is incredible. What I'm seeing. You guys have a blessed weekend. Tell your loved ones you love them. Tell yourself you love yourself. Peace out, y'all.
Yeah.